All right, good morning, everybody. We are here at the club. Look at the nice crowd we have today. It's the 25th of November. Thanksgiving week on Thursday, so get your turkey ready. All right, we're going to start this party today. Danny has got a nice video he wants to share with us. Danny, tell us about this.
Well, this is my first try. Paul wants it for travel long, so it's about a 17-minute video of our road trip to Spain in September. So I'm just showing the highlights. And so I'm learning Da Vinci. I'm having trouble with the recordings part of it. I've recorded this thing 3 times. Once on Yeti Blue, once on my phone, which sounded maybe a little bit better. And I'm not sure which is the third one you got here, but it seems like my voice is muffled. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well,
It's not clear.
let's give it a listen.
So
Do you think this is on the Yeti Blue?
I don't think this one is on Yeti, no.
What do you think this is on the phone?
My phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to hear Todd is Mr. Yeti, so it's interesting to bring in the setup, record something here.
We'll look at whichever your settings
Because I
are.
don't know if my Yeti settings are, good enough.
Right.
That, if that's what's causing it or not.
Yeah. Bring it in and we'll take a look at it.
Do you record directly to DaVinci or to Audacity or?
Audacity. So I don't know, I'm waiting for a class in Audacity. So I can really,
Well, there was one last year.
well, last year, yeah.
Probably have one again this year.
Did you
And everything.
record to Audacity?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, good.
But when I did mine for the one that we just showed last
Yeah.
week, it was settings in not in Audacity, but on the microphone that I had to change and everything. So we can take a look at what your microphone set at.
It's a refurbished Yeti, so I don't know if that's the problem.
Well, it should be. It
Should be fine.
should be, but you did drop it, right?
Oh, I can't go back.
All right. Well, let's check this out.
On September of 2024, Becky, our daughter Stacy, our son Miguel, and I took a road trip in Spain. This video will showcase the major attractions of our trip. We arrived in Madrid on Friday evening, September 13th. Our lodging for 2 nights, shown here, was near the center of Madrid. We were on the 4th floor. On the ground level was a small bar, La Parrilla de Vino, the wine grill. It was doing a brisk business. There were 2 must-see attractions we wanted to visit in Madrid. One was the Bernabeu Stadium, the home of the Real Madrid soccer team. Real, or Real as we tend to pronounce it, means royal. We were unable to secure a tour of the stadium, so these first 3 photos are from the internet. The stadium has a retractable roof and a seating capacity of 78,297, making it the 2nd largest seating capacity for a soccer stadium in Spain. Real Madrid is the most successful team in international club soccer, or football as they call it, with 31 continental and worldwide trophies. In the lobby entrance to the team shop were several wall screens continuously displaying videos. Here is our son Miguel standing in front of one of the screens. This video was the most interesting. Our second must-see was the Plaza de Toros de las Ventas bullfighting ring, simply known as Las Ventas. Las Ventas is the largest bullfighting ring in Spain and the third largest in the world, with a seating capacity of 23,798. Here are some photos of inside the bull ring. The gates where the bull enters the ring. The infirmary, but we could not go in. And of course a chapel where all bullfighters pray before their performance. The plaza outside where mules drag the dead bulls. In the plaza outside the ring is a monument that stands in tribute to José Cubero Sánchez, also known as Yillo. He was a Spanish matador who died in the bull ring at the age of 21. The monument depicts his last moments when the bull somehow managed to pierce Yillo's body with his horns and split his heart in two. At the back of the monument is a winged figure weeping at the death. On the front below Yillo are three figures, two men cheering him and a woman selling flowers. Sunday morning we picked up our rental car and left for our next destination, Avila. Avila is distinctively called the town of stones and saints. It has the most complete and prominent medieval town walls. It was founded in the 11th century to protect the Spanish territories from the Moors and has kept its medieval austerity. This purity of form can still be seen in the Gothic cathedral and the fortifications which, with their 82 semicircular towers and 9 gates, are the most complete in Spain. Inside the walls is pretty much a self-contained community. A cathedral, homes, parks, gardens, and restaurants. Outside the walls are shops, restaurants, and a somewhat newer Avila. We enjoyed a great lunch before departing for Segovia.
Segovia is famous for its cathedral, the Roman aqueduct, and the Alcazar castle. The castle was documented for the first time in 1122, although it may have existed earlier. It served as one of the templates for the Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom castle.
The walls of Segovia, as seen from this location, has 8 towers, 5 gates, and several doors. Also seen from this location is the Segovia Cathedral, the last Gothic cathedral built in Spain. It is known as the Lady of Cathedrals. It was consecrated in 1768. It includes 18 chapels and 3 doors. The aqueduct of Segovia ends up in the central plaza and is a defining historical feature of the city, dating from the 1st or early 2nd century AD. It is one of the most famous aqueducts built by the Romans throughout their vast empire. It is an extraordinary engineering accomplishment, consisting of about 25,000 granite blocks held together without any mortar. It is still used to deliver drinking water from the mountains in the background.
We had dinner in the plaza that evening. The plaza is next to the cathedral, which is quite stunning at night.
The next morning we left for Leon with a stop in Burgos to visit the famous Cathedral of St. Mary of Burgos, as seen here from where we parked our car. The Burgos Cathedral is located on the Plaza Santa Maria, the city's main town square. The walk down to the cathedral was quite beautiful. The cathedral is surrounded by a pedestrian walkway, a river walk, small plazas, restaurants, tourist shops, bars, and cafes. The cathedral was built over 6 centuries, from the 13th to the 19th century. Tourists and locals alike can enjoy Burgos Cathedral's unique collection of artworks, paintings, choir stalls, tombs, and stained glass windows, which heavily influenced the European Gothic style across the world. Here are some photos of what's inside. After lunch, we drove to Leon. The long drive to Leon got us there late in the day. After securing our lodging, we set out to see the town, as we were only 2 blocks from the center. Leon, like most towns, has a cathedral. The Leon Cathedral houses a collection of 737 stained glass windows and covers an area of 18,998 square feet. Construction started in the 12th century. This was my 3rd trip to Spain. I've seen enough of the inside of cathedrals. Leon has plenty of shopping. These photos were taken about 8 p.m. It gets dark very late in Leon and most of Europe. Leon is a great place to shop for jewelry, as the prices are great and the quality is excellent. My most go-to place was the Barrio Húmedo, or humid neighborhood. A neighborhood with a multitude of taverns, bars, and restaurants can be found there. It is the perfect place to practice the local custom known as going out for tapas and beer. One strolls from bar to bar sampling small quantities of typical local food, which are usually offered with a drink. Each restaurant has its own specialty, and all of them provide the chance to try the local wines. After whetting your appetite with a few tapas, a good idea is to have a meal in any of the restaurants. The next morning we took a tour of the Pantheon Museum. The church was consecrated on December 21st, 1063, and to mark the occasion, Saint Isidore's relics were transferred to it. This resulted in the ensemble's enrichments through donations of jewels and ornaments, which have been preserved to the present day and can be found and admired under the name of Treasure of Leon. Fernando I's daughter, Dona Urraca, extended her parents' church and made magnificent donations. One item was the chalice of the Last Supper. Photos of it are not allowed, but I could show you a postcard that was sold in the gift shop. The original chalice is the bottom part. The gold and precious stones were added under different ownership. Then we were off to Santiago de Compostela. There was a major wildfire burning along the northern route, so we were directed south near the Portuguese border. The main attraction is the Santiago de Compostela Cathedral, where the pilgrims walk in the Camino routes and their adventure. The cathedral is a reputed burial place of St. James, one of the apostles of Jesus Christ. The church is built over the tomb, and in the year 997, the church was burned down by an army commander of Córdoba, but the tomb and relics were left undisturbed. Construction of the present cathedral began in the year 1075. Nearby is the Camino office where pilgrims present their credentials to receive their Compostela. If they have walked, bike, or ridden a horse the required distance, documented by stamps on their credential. Santiago offers many restaurants and plenty of shopping. The next day we took a trip to Isado Waterfall, which is on the way to Cape Finisterre, where there is a historic lighthouse. We Googled Isado Falls on Google Maps and it took us through some beautiful rural country. Isado Waterfall is formed by the Halas River and is the only European waterfall that flows directly into the sea. From there, it was a short drive to Cape Finisterre. The name of the village comes from the Romans, who saw the village as the end of the world. The attraction there is the Lighthouse of Finisterre, which stands at the westernmost point of the Iberian Peninsula at Cape Finisterre. The renowned lighthouse is considered to be one of the most powerful lighthouses in Europe. It was constructed in 1853 and is still an active lighthouse today. There is a hotel and restaurant next to it in case you want to enjoy beautiful sunsets. The next morning we were supposed to drive to Porto, Portugal, but forest fires were still burning in the Porto region and we heard some roads were closed and emergency evacuations were taking place. So we decided to skip Porto and headed for Vigo, Spain, near the border of Portugal, before driving to Salamanca for our final 2 nights. So we drove to the town of Vigo near the Portugal border, but Google took us to Vino Beach. The beach was not busy as the weather was cool. Then we turned around and saw this sign, Playa Nudista, nude beach. Sure enough, before long someone was walking nude on the beach. No, that is not me. But had my kids not been with us, I might have joined the nude walk myself. We left the beach for Salamanca, and as we drove just north of the Portuguese border, we drove through smoke from the fire burning south of us in Portugal. Salamanca's old city was also a walled city, with some of the walls still apparent. Salamanca has 2 cathedrals, the old cathedral, and if you might call this one, the new cathedral, or should I say, not so old cathedral. Attractions include the House of Shells, an old Roman bridge with its 26 round arches and robust pillars, which crosses the Tormes River. It was constructed in the 1st century AD and is part of the Roman Silva Road that linked Merida and Astorga. Like most cities in Spain, it also has a Plaza Mayor with its many shops and restaurants, which is also quite beautiful at night. Next morning we drove to Madrid, passing through Avila, where we again stopped for lunch. We arrived in Madrid early in the afternoon and drove to its Plaza Mayor, where there are many shops and restaurants, and we had dinner before checking into our hotel near the airport for our flight out the next morning. It was a great trip. I'm glad our kids were able to see parts of Spain where I walked my Camino, pilgrims walking, and experience the culture and many wonders of Spain.
Okay. All right. Well, other than Danny's audio problems, what did you think of the video? Great.
I thought some of the shots were a little too short,
Yes.
especially inside the church. That
there's a number of times where there's shots that are 2 seconds. If it was me, I would drop a shot so I can have a shot be 4 seconds or 5 seconds. Because there's a lot of that goes really, really quick.
We're trying to keep it at 15 minutes for traveling.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you need to do some pruning on some of these shots because some of them are not good. I mean, there's some are really, some of them are really soft in terms of the focus. At least what I'm seeing there on the screen. And I'd rather see you, as a quick example of this, when I was starting out as a photographer and my professor told me you have to present your portfolio to a prospective client or a job. 10 pictures max. That's it. If you look at all these photos that we saw in this and you say, okay, from the best picture to the last picture, there's probably a third of them to be cut out, meaning that they're just not good. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but what I'm trying to say is,
You're not saying that in a bad way.
well, what I'm saying is I would rather see you prune and get rid of some of those shots and extend the better shots for a longer period of time. Allow the viewer to see it. You know, if it's only on for 2 to 4 seconds, it's not enough time.
Especially shots like inside the church where there's so much detail to it.
Yeah,
It takes a moment just to even focus on it, and then
it's gone.
the shot's gone.
Yeah.
So Kevin, how long would you keep it, like what you would consider a great image? How long would you keep it on the screen? And
Well, I think it just depends on, part of it depends on what you're talking about in terms of the narration. Like there was a shot of one of the plazas that's night. It's a beautiful shot. Give me that for 6 seconds, 8 seconds, possibly. And I'd rather see you prune in other ways to get rid of some of it. There's, and we can talk about this later, but it really needs to be pruned going through. I can help you with that if you'd like.
And technically, where you have one picture on top of the other, I like the blurred background, but fade the outside of the the outside of the inner picture. So you don't have an abrupt line in there.
Yeah. That's a feature in DaVinci. You can soften it.
I saw that, well, I used it once and then I couldn't find it.
Happens.
Seeing you in there somewhere.
I'm behind the camera.
I know, but it's somebody else to
Maybe a few photos of you that someone else has taken.
You notice the voice differences.
Oh,
Because I re-recorded on my phone and you could tell the difference.
Yeah,
Well,
something happened when you went to Segovia. When you started talking about Segovia, all of a sudden the audio changed fairly drastically. So I'm not sure what the.
Where did you record this?
Did you use a microphone to do your narration?
Well, I used the
well, it's
phone and then I used my phone. So,
Okay.
Yeah, but where were you when you recorded?
well, I think that's the problem is that I was at my home office, which is all tile floor, and the acoustics is not the best.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
but-
you're in a box. I mean,
Well,
it's,
yeah.
it's
Well, but I think even to your point, Phil, how close are you to the microphone when you're talking in that setting?
I try to keep the same distance so all
Okay.
the recordings in front of it.
I mean, I would get with Todd and see if there's some setting issue that's going on. I mean, what you're saying is fine, but the audio quality is horrible. I mean, you can almost, throughout the thing, it's really hard to hear because it's so boxy and boomy.
Well, there's another issue, which is you need to learn about ducking.
Yes.
When you're talking, you should bring the level of the music in the background down
A little bit.
and then bring it back up when you're done. And
DaVinci actually has a
you can do
auto-ducking feature.
You could do it automatically, or you could do it manually.
Yeah, but that wasn't the problem.
No.
Ducking was not a
Well,
big problem.
it was, but there
The
was
big
another.
problem is just the recording,
The actual
the audio. I don't know where you were. I'd have a hard time reproducing what you did. Seriously. Well, it depends. I mean, when the last video I did, the first I think the first audio recording
Yes.
came out similar to what yours was and everything. And it's because I didn't have the settings right on my Yeti.
Well, when you say settings, what are you talking about?
There's some adjustable settings.
So there's several adjustable settings on it. Well, the first thing that I had wrong was I had the mic itself set up wrong. I didn't have it on cardio, so it was picking up other sounds and everything. But I had and I think it was the second one because you said my volume. No, the first one. The volume you said was too high.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was just very muddy sounding. This,
Yeah, but even changing to cardioid, there's something major wrong here. I don't know.
Well, we'd have to see what he has his volume set on the mic for the intake.
It's not
And
a
everything, because I had when I first had it on 8, and then Kevin said it was a little bit soft, so I turned it up to 9. And when I did it to 9, it came up like Danny's did, where it was just all muffled and everything.
But it's not overdriven. I mean, I've heard people use iPhones in here for audio, and they sounded so much better than that. I've never used one, but
you could, I mean, if you had recorded it just strictly on your phone and held that phone, like this, it would have sounded 1,000 times
oh
better.
yeah,
1,000 times. But
Well, I'm thinking that too late now, but
well,
we need a little recording studio in here.
no, it's just a matter
It would
of
help, I think, a lot to have just a.
Go under the blanket.
I guess it looked like
I think the solution is to bring your laptop in. Is that what you record into? With the Yeti?
My PC.
Can you record into your laptop? Bring your Yeti in with your laptop. Let's get together.
Take a look at the
Let's
sessions.
record something. Let's listen to it. I bet you we can get it sounding 1,000 times better with just some minor tweaking. But it's just,
There are even some features on DaVinci and Fairlight, their audio program, that we may be able to do just to tweak it to get it to sound better.
yeah, something's going on in settings. So I think if you tried to show this now to Travelog, it would not be good. It got to get that audio cleaned up first.
Yeah.
And then from there, if it was me, I would do some pruning of imagery, knock it down a little bit, extend the time of other images so that you give us a chance to see more. And I think that'll really help it. There's also some transition issues that I saw in there too. I mean, I'll be happy to go through it with you at some point.
Okay.
And point stuff out and you'll go, shut up. I don't want to, I don't want to do this. Okay.
there's one other thing you can do with the still, which is to blow them up and then pan them.
Right. Well, there's,
The big ones, those Puzzle Nyona, there were some great shots there. So
right.
zoom in on them and then pan across them.
Sure.
Just a little bitty would be.
Yeah, a little movement would be fine. Yeah. Yeah. We'll work on it. We'll get you going. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't come in here for a beating today. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean, but I want to
Be helpful.
helpful, definitely helpful.
One of the previous comments is not having Danny's pictures in this show. Would it be cheating to grab some that he did from his Camino?
He did have some from his Camino because I recognized a number of them.
That could be put in here so that, it's not everybody but Danny showing up in the family shots, some way or another. We get Danny into
Well,
it.
there's a shot of you and your daughter out front at the Santiago church.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could certainly, I mean, it's funny because as I was watching it, I did see pictures from your Camino walk that we did. So, but it was just fine.
There's a couple of pictures in there of the Woodlands Cathedral from my last trip
Yeah,
our first trip to Spain. I had a lot of those. I put some in there.
sure.
And I don't know. I photoshopped them and I ran them through Topaz, so I thought they were clear. But,
Well, we'll look at that as well.
all right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
are you glad you came?
That's what we're here.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think also it's a thing of, as you're watching stuff, you start going through stuff and you see, and if I was watching that with you, I'd say, stop the video. Okay, here's what I see. And to go through it that way and start taking notes as to what you want to fix. Okay, Todd, why don't you tell us about your botanical garden video?
All right, so this is just a short little video I took last year at the Botanical Gardens here in Tucson. I had been to it several times for the Christmas programs, and so when I went to it last year, I was like, I'm not taking my camera. I've already got several folders with photos and everything. I'm not doing this again. But then I got there and I thought, oh, well, that's cool. That's cool. So I whipped out my phone, and so this entire thing is taken on my iPhone.
Okay.
So it's the first time I've ever used it exclusively for a video.
And these are all fresh photos.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, let's check it out. What do we think? What do we think of that?
Pretty.
God, I apologize for all of the bad things I said about your video.
Well,
This was good.
thank you.
What'd you think of the music?
It's
I like this.
The timing really works out nice, because as you switch
I was
pictures, the music, the highlights were right along them.
I very much tried to make the images change on the beat.
Yeah, it really worked nice.
Yeah. The only thing I see is you need to use spell checker on your credits.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Uh-oh, what do we see?
Annie.
Oh, boy.
That's
That's Italian for pine.
And iPhone should actually have a small I,
Yes.
not a capital I.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a minor thing.
Yeah.
Well, those can be fixed.
Did you see the spot where you didn't go full frame with the image?
Yeah, I saw.
Todd's like, oh no, what are we seeing?
No.
Hang on. Hang on, I'll find it. Right there. See that? See the black edge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
The other thing I'd be interested to find out, it sounded like the audio, when it was soft, was fine in terms of the piano, but it sounded really, got really distorted when it got really rocking. I'd like to run that in Final Cut and just see what that level is for you. Cause it just sounds like it's a little too much.
All right, so I had it
Anybody hear
at
that?
about a -5.
Well, I mean, like at the very beginning, if you listen, it sounds really nice. I mean, that sounds good. And then there was at some point in here where it's rocking a little more. You hear that? It's getting distorted. So
So would that be my overall sound setting?
probably.
I mean, because it was all just, I mean, I didn't do anything to the audio or, the music clip.
Right,
That's how it came.
It's a different music clip though, there.
It's the same clip, the whole thing, the whole time.
Yeah, it's overdriven at that point. I
Yes.
don't know why.
Hang on.
You say it's the same clip, but you must have merged a couple of different tunes into it.
No,
Oh, you did?
no, that was just one recording. One solid recording. I downloaded off Pixabay.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I see them. Yeah.
Maybe it's in the original.
So it's their problem.
No, but, well, or it could be what happened is that your settings were such that it was below the 0 dB, the place where things start getting fuzzy for the quieter parts, but when it gets to the louder parts, it just bounces
Blows out.
It is the audio itself.
I was just trying to see if I can load that real quick. Hang on. 1 second. Desktop. That's why we love the computer. Here we go. It's imported. Yeah, I know. Thank you. File. And here's our volume. Hang on, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it better. Come on. I wonder if you.
Probably close.
Well, I'd love to hear the.
Zero.
What's that?
If that zero is the,
Zero, you don't want to go over because you're clipping at that point.
yeah, and it's getting awfully close to it.
Well, it's close, but I wonder if it'd be interesting to see what the original recording sounds like. If it's that distorted. Can you send that to me at some point?
I think I actually have it with me.
Okay.
Yes.
What setting did you use on your phone when you record that? Is it like a nightscape or do you remember?
I don't remember.
You just let it go naturally, whatever the phone is seeing.
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't even planning on taking
Yeah.
any photos, and I'm like, oh.
It does a surprisingly good job. Absolutely. Okay.
What's your phone? What phone do you have?
It's a 13. Yeah, it's not the Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, but it looked pretty good. Considering the darkness and stuff, it didn't get super noisy in the black areas. So okay. Does anybody have anything else on that?
Not specifically, but
Yes.
holiday lights in general, don't forget that we've got a field trip coming up, I think on the 13th of December to Tohono Chul.
Mm.
Their garden glow at night. And then I put a survey out about going to the Tucson Botanical Gardens for their lights up, which is what Todd basically just showed. Looking at the 17th of December, we put a survey out looking for 20 people that would go. Right now I've got 17. So it's almost like, we're right on the cusp of having a field trip set up for that.
Well, good.
You,
Do you want to go to if they allow tripods?
That I don't know.
that's the 13th for Tohono Chulu.
Right. Mhm.
I would bet on their website it probably says something about that, or you could call and ask. Especially for you doing night stuff, you'd like to have a tripod.
Right.
So, okay. Does anybody have anything else on that? All right. Thank you for that. Daryl, you got some footage from the tour to Tucson. You want to tell us about this?
Sure. I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to help out or not. So about 9 o'clock, 8:55, I called Doug and said, it looks like my morning is free. Where do you want me? He said, go to Continental and Duval Mine Road, which is where I'm at. I shot all with the iPhone 15 Pro, some regular video, some slow motion video, and some stills. There's one spot in here where you'll see a lady in yellow. Her husband was from New Mexico, Albuquerque or something, and her husband and her brother-in-law are both riding in this. And she was going to hand off this water bottle to him, and she says, I really want you to get this. So you're going to see in here, okay, are you ready for your shot? And then you'll find out what happens.
Okay. Was anyone injured or hurt during this?
No.
Okay, well, that's good.
No animals were injured.
No animals were All right, let's see what you got here.
You asked how the day was. It was a little windy, but not bad. You can hear it there's absolutely no sound over this.
Okay.
What's the gravel? What's the gravel? And that's a police officer behind me because there's some sand and gravel on the road, and he's saying, watch the gravel. Watch the gravel. Where's your love? Where you at, JP? I tried to mix up some regular video with some slow motion video and different angles.
You took that on an iPhone?
Yes.
I'm surprised it's bouncing in and out of focus like
Well, I'm
this.
moving.
Yeah, but it's
Panning a little bit.
yeah, but that's not it. Even when you're still, there's some shots where it's bouncing out of focus.
Yes, I noticed that. And I was hoping that maybe some image stabilization might help some of the bouncing there.
Carol, is this the actual footage or have you loaded this onto a video editor?
No, this is the actual footage. I did go in and adjust levels and curves and levels, did auto correct on colors, just basic, and then put a little vignette on very, very slight.
You did that on your phone?
This was all done on the phone. It was all edited on my computer.
Okay.
In my program. The program we do.
The program that comes with Apple.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Those three guys are going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
They're done with the race.
Are you ready for your shot? Man, she backs right out in the ring.
So dangerous. As fast as they're doing.
You're really not allowed to use that.
Well, she and her husband, I did some stills. So that's why I couldn't follow it with the camera or with the videos, because I was shooting stills as well.
But he got the bottle.
Which is a darn good thing.
Broke her arm in the
With
process.
that Peloton going through, that could have been a terrible accident.
I was out at Quail Creek and all the people there said, you're not allowed to do that.
And you can see the gravel on the road there, and he's saying go to the left. There's the.
Yeah, I'm surprised, Pima County didn't clean up better on that curve. Because they did a great job last year prepping them, of course.
Yeah, was that coming off of Continental onto
Yeah, Duval. Yeah.
Yeah, I rode that yesterday, and it was there was a bunch of gravel there.
Yeah, there is right there in the center.
And they had the cones right in the middle of it.
I wonder if that's why we had so many people airing up their tires at Aid Station 7. There were a ton of folks taking advantage of the photography club bike repair tent.
Good. What was
So would that be enough to
This is just
knock your ear out?
short clips of
No.
what I thought were the highlights of the group.
We would do nothing.
And I
do nothing. Yeah.
essentially wanted to give it just to Tom so he could put it together and use it.
Oh, yeah, this will be good stuff.
Yeah.
I thought the nice burning sun and the slow motion coming up the hill would be a nice.
That will be absolutely great. Because
Behind it.
that'll be absolutely fitting because it was toasty out there. What was it, about 87, I think? By the time.
It's cold in the morning.
Yeah.
No, when you're riding though, 87 is great because the air is going across you, and so you're comfortable at 87.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like they broke participation records this year.
Yeah,
Over 10,000?
over 10.
It was over 10.
Yeah. And the guy who won the 102 miler beat the previous record by like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, it was crazy.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
And the wind wasn't that bad for him. So early in the morning.
And he crossed alone. That was the first time ever that one guy crossed that far in advance of the whole pack.
Because the previous years up at Aid Station 7, there's usually been more of a peloton in that lead group. And here come all the motorcycles and everything else, motorcycle cops leading the way. And there were 3 cyclists. And then 5 minutes later, there was 1 cyclist. I mean, it was crazy the way
About
they started out.
10:30, the police officer got some cones to put on the gravel.
Okay.
You can hear them.
They were still up yesterday. So every Saturday morning, the shootout comes down the opposite way.
Okay.
They come down the ball, and then sometimes they'll go straight ahead, or they'll go down to the continental, figure out the neighborhood for good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, this is good too because for most of the shots, it's showing the uphill drag that they're doing, and that's what we heard from all the cyclists, or a good many of the cyclists that were on it for the first time, is they didn't realize not only is it a 900 something foot elevation gain, but it goes all the way from you're basically going uphill all the way from the depths of Green Valley.
2,800 feet.
Oh yeah, 2,800 feet.
Yeah, down there.
Oh, for elevation change, you mean?
Yeah, no, but down.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But basically, they're cranking the whole way uphill. So by the time they get to Aid Station 7, there's a lot of folks cramping up. And
Yeah, they said it was about 4,000 feet from the convention center to Green Valley. At least 2,000, wasn't it? Isn't there?
Yeah, it's
It couldn't be.
A lot of the repetitive stuff, just getting lots of different groups. It's hard to do. When you're in the same location, make a lot of different stuff. But I got some low angle and some slow motion and stuff, a variety of things that he could use. And then at the end, I just put in some stills. That one guy was going, but he just, I got it on video, but it was out of focus. So
they love getting their photos taken.
oh yeah, they do.
Did anybody notice when the big groups came by how much talking is going on?
How much?
All the time they're riding their bikes, they're talking. A lot of chatter.
Yeah, because they move in and out. They change.
Yeah, and they're just chatting the whole thing. They're all chatting.
if you want to see something good, show them the cactus flower, which is on the thumb drive. It's
Hang on, 1
6
second.
seconds long.
Your best shot was after this. That shot right there is money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight shot, you got the mountains back there, and before you start to widen out, that's great. Now, were you shooting with the phone on a tripod at all?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that shot was money.
The problem with my tripod is I have one of the grip handle joystick. So when I squeeze the, it wasn't the regular
Right.
level head.
Sure.
Because that was what I had with me at the time.
Okay.
So, but you make do with what you got.
Sure. This is where I was talking at the beginning. I was shocked. The autofocus was bouncing in and out here. Just if I play just a little bit. It's sharp, and then it goes way out, and then it's back in. I'm surprised.
Because of autofocus?
That's autofocus on the phone. I'm surprised that it didn't lock in.
I think what happened is
Too when I saw it.
I wonder if it had originally locked in on the grasses.
Sure.
And then when the bicyclists came in front and tried to focus on the bicyclist,
Yeah,
then went back to the focus
Could be.
on the grass.
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
I saw that and I thought maybe you had instead of phone, it was DLSR.
No.
And you had it on autofocus and it just couldn't find something. I think you're probably right, Sam. The other suggestion I'd have for next time you do this, see this nice shot?
Yeah.
Give me the shot in reverse. I want to read the L tour with the arrow and see the guys go up.
But I don't want to see the backs of the bicyclists for the most part.
Well, I'm just telling you, it would make a more interesting shot. You could do this shot, and that's fine, but I'm just saying, try that as a shot next time.
And you wouldn't get the sun
Yeah, but
in the shot.
well, I'm not saying there's one shot. It's you only get one shot, and this shot I'm suggesting is the shot. I'm just saying, give me that shot. Have your tripod mounted. Have that thing in the foreground, and the warriors going by.
We'll turn the sign around.
Yeah, and then they're gonna ride off the. Yeah.
Then they'll start going down to Volmine.
Yeah.
Just need a sign on the back of that one.
Well, that would be nice.
That would be-
Or yes.
Has the arrow going the other way.
Or Daryl, if you could get a photo of one of those signs, then you could just put it over top of this.
Except it's moving because of the fan. See it move?
You could
Yeah.
probably Photoshop that sign and
Yep.
reverse it.
Yeah.
Just tell AI to turn it around.
Well, anyway, be thinking about that next time.
I thought about it and I threw it away because I didn't want the backs of the bicyclists. I mean, almost all the shots that you see in the back of the bicyclists are a pan shot where I've got them coming toward me
Yeah.
and I pan and then they go off the other direction. So,
Okay. All right. You got something on a thumb drive for me to show
So
here?
let me ask a question
Yeah.
before we go on to
Okay,
that.
yeah.
So if you're shooting, so like I had my GoPro set up on 120 frames per second
Mhm.
because I want to do
Yeah.
slow-mo with it.
Right.
So, but when I take it into the video editing,
Mhm.
how do, at least in DaVinci, it wants to change it?
There's probably a setting in there in Final Cut. There's a setting called actual speed, and that would show it at that rate.
I think I've read about it in DaVinci, but I've never tried it, so I'm pretty
There's
sure.
probably something in there. I would just, again, go to YouTube, type in running slow-mo in DaVinci, and I'm sure something will come up with a solution for you. So,
Yeah, but while you're on that,
yeah,
I have the van close by, so I walked over and grabbed a beer,
yeah,
had it in my pocket,
yeah.
and here was his rider with something like "I love beer" or something on his shirt.
Okay.
So he gave him a beer. I said, "Here." He goes, "Oh my God!" And so that as he drove away, he says, "I'm going to open this and cross the finish line with it." The beer? Yeah, he took the beer. Oh yeah, he was going to open it up before the finish line.
How far were you from the finish line?
Like 20 miles?
Oh, 27 miles.
So he was,
Yeah, we're about 27 miles.
Warm, shaky.
you're gonna open it and it's gonna blow.
Yeah.
yeah. You can see the headline, "Man dies."
Yeah. He crashed the bike. He crashes the bike thinking he's gonna have the beer.
Did he sign up for the beer, or did you, do the yellow
No, it's
shirt, look at the yellow shirt?
holding his
Cactus flower.
Okay.
6 seconds.
And then he took off with the beers.
That's a hoot.
Yeah.
Then he probably did slow down enough to
Hang on.
do that crossing the line.
What about?
The line's really nasty at the end. There's a lot of turns and twists.
Yeah. This is gonna be slow. Coming off your drive.
It's really not an opportunity for somebody to say,
Yes,
hold my
it is
beer,
very
let's try something.
Yeah.
When he's trying to hold his beer.
Hang on. Hang on. That's my, okay, here we go. Okay. Think of that. Did you like the music?
Yes.
Yes.
I like the last shot. Very much shot.
I like black and white, and it's all about color and the whole video, but I like the graphicness of black and white.
Sure.
I generally try and include a little bit. I thought it was a great way because it was kind of dying, and it was a good way to end the.
Sure. What did you think of his time lapse at the beginning?
Oh, that's great.
It was amazing.
That was the shot.
Oh, that was amazing.
And was that shot with your DSLR, or was this with the iPhone or a GoPro? Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure it was the iPhone, but it could have been my Nikon.
Okay. I mean, it was nice. And it was the thing that was nice. It was nice and steady. And
Well, it was on a tripod.
well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
It looked great. That was a nice shot. Okay, does anybody have anything else on that?
So what's your time interval between shots and everything to get that?
Every one of those is 8 seconds long.
Oh,
And, it's a just half a second transition or whatever dissolve between.
Are you talking about the time lapse or just the photos?
yeah, it's time lapse.
No, the time lapse, I don't know what that is, but the shots on the screen were 8 seconds long. The time lapse, if it was shot with my Nikon, and I don't know, you can go up if you can find out the information on it or not right there, but it's a 5-to-1. In other words, 1 minute of actual recording will turn into 5 minutes long in my slow-mo. Or I can't remember.
That's okay. Do you see how Danny, how he has those pictures up for a long time? Not that yours all have to be up for a long time, but how it gives you as a viewer a chance to really look at the images and see what's going on.
So I chose to keep them very stark with black sides, and I wanted them cropped all full frame. That was, those are my finished edits.
That's your money. That's the money shot right there. That one's beautiful. Love the little spoken in the background.
The hair light.
What's that?
The hair light.
Yes, it's nice. Okay, does anybody have anything else? All right. We are meeting next week on Monday. I hope that you all have a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving. And we will see you next week and bring some videos. Goodbye, everybody.